Hey, Julie.
Hey, Julie.
Welcome to Hey, Julie. For one last time, a podcast about BB25. Danielle, I just saw you like 2 days ago.
I know. So recently, and yet here we are back on the internet where we belong.
Yep. This is so much more comfortable than having you in my house.
We're back. I finally watched the finale. Brett watched it early yesterday, or no, Friday morning. But I just
Well,
watched
I
it
have no
last
idea what
night.
it is, but yeah, no. I
So
mean,
it's
you came over to my place on Thursday night. We had planned up until a day before to watch the finale together, as everyone remembers from our fake out finale episode on Thursday
yeah,
night. And it was like you left at like what like 9 o'clock, 9:15.
on the dot, baby.
I was tired.
Yeah.
I was tired. I was ready for bed. So I went to bed, but because you know, because I have the internal clock of like an infant, I was up at like 5:45 and I was like, oh, I'll just watch the finale now. So I watched it
And
pretty early
you
Friday morning.
you texted me that you enjoyed it.
Yeah. I mean, maybe I'm just a little bit uh just colored by the last like 20-30 minutes of it, just because I think like once the kind of like voting is done and they bring everybody on stage and they ask questions and they reveal various secrets, I think that's always fun when everyone
Yeah.
finds out that Jared was Cirie's son, when people when
They had a whole
people found out
package
Bowie
ready for that.
Jane was like that's just fun. Watching people be shocked and
Yeah.
learn stuff is fun.
I feel like they
Everyone
had the
celebrating and
package they
hugging is
had.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah, the package they had for that reveal, like everyone's reaction seemed much more over the top than what I remember happening live. I was almost like, did they reshoot this? Because I felt like in the moment people weren't that surprised. They were like, "Oh." But when you put them all together and you add like some fun little sizzle music to it, it did seem much more dramatic.
It was fun, but also like I saw that. I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw Kirsten
Kiki.
be shocked. I saw Riley be shocked. I want to see the people in the jury be shocked. Like show their
Yeah.
damn faces. Like
Well, they
there's
must
always a
have been
little
told
thing.
beforehand, no? Like, did Cirie just not tell anyone while she was in jury?
No, I mean, I think it seemed like Felicia was completely shocked. It seems like Corey was completely shocked. Like they both got really good lines where Corey was like, I like orchestrated Jared's exit, and then I thought I could
Uh-huh.
work with Cirie after that. Like,
Yeah.
and then Felicia even said, like, oh, I thought like, how could I even break through that? Like, no wonder I couldn't break through the relationship you guys had.
There was a moment when they were showing all of the like reveals where they showed all of the evicted non-jury members and all of their individual reactions. And I was saying out loud, like, oh my God, what about poor Izzy? Is Izzy not going to have like a moment at all in this finale? Like, she was such a great character. I felt so bad. I was like, they're just going to gloss over Izzy. But they did. They gave her moment in the
They
sun.
gave her a moment, but I mean, they give everybody one moment, and it's like, oh, let's see what
Mm-hmm.
Red had. Like, Red never said a fucking word for
Oh,
the
yeah. Red
5
didn't get a
weeks he was in
moment.
the house. He, and it's like, oh, but it's like, oh, Kristen's here, whatever her name is. She's here. What did you
Nicole
think
got more
about
moments
watching
than
from?
I was ready for.
Cole got the first question.
Yeah. But
Well,
she looked
Julie just
amazing.
wanted to check her pulse, see if Nicole was alive.
Yeah. Yeah, but she was alive and well. I mean, do you think they asked Nicole that question because I'm sure they do like pre-interviews to catch up with our
Sure.
pre-jurors, see what they thought of the show. Do you think her answer led so perfectly to Cameron being America's favorite player that that's why they went with that question?
What was her question?
The question was like, what surprised you the most going back and watching it all? And her
Oh,
answer
that
was
Cameron
the
was
fact
like
that
a hero.
he's the hero of the season.
Yeah, I mean, we can talk about that. I guess we had a little unexpected hashtag Brett was right,
Yeah.
because you texted me that. I don't remember saying whatever I said, but
I thought
I
you
mean, I
said
thought
that like Cameron's going to be like the Cody.
yeah, I
And
think I did
so,
say that. I think I did say that, but like, yeah, I mean, I think I mean, if you want a recipe for being America's favorite house guest, future contestants, just like not like anybody else on the show.
Uh-huh.
and actively work against every other house guest and just do your own thing the most. Like Nicole would have almost, if Nicole like played the game and did stuff, and maybe lasted into jury and was like a bit more of an active player, she could have been America's favorite house guest in the same way, because all of her DRs, whenever she got one, like once a week, was like, man, I hate these people. These people suck. I need to like go in the storage room and like decompress. Like, I think during the course of the season, even the audience gets a little bit tired of the regular house guest shenanigans. So if there's one house guest who's like, these people are idiots, I want to ruin their lives or whatever, America's like, yeah, we love that person. And that's kind of what Cameron did, is what Cody
Yeah.
did, obviously. So
America is a troll. America, the country, possibly also America, the person. Were you surprised that America and Corey were not in the top at all for America's favorite house
yeah,
guest?
well, it speaks to us, the BB podcast for casuals,
Yeah.
that the BB super fans do not speak for all of this nation. Because if you
Yeah.
go by like the Joker's house guest rankings, which, surprise surprise, is probably not the most like accurate poll of the nation's sentiment
Yeah.
about Big Brother players, like it would just, I mean, let me pull it up right now. Like, let's see where we ended the season. Number one was on the final day. The number one was Corey. Number two was America. 3 was Cirie. 4 was Felicia. 5 was Kirsten.
No
Kirsten, it is
way.
confirmed. It is Kirsten. It's not Kristen.
Amazing.
Heisem, Cameron, Izzy, Nicole, Jag. Jag's at 10. Riley, Blue, Red, Matt, Bowie Jane. Matt was pretty low. That's pretty crazy.
Well, all three
Matt,
of them are surprisingly low. And that was that's like the major thing I've noticed from seeing the reaction to the finale and then going and watching it myself 2 days later, is like the outsized hatred for Matt, Jag, and especially Bowie Jane
oh
on the
my
Twitter
lord.
versus what I watched as a casual. Like, I said this in our Discord, but like the amount of vitriol directed at Bowie Jane for her perfectly normal, I would say like shockingly well-adjusted reactions and things that she said on the finale was insane. Like, everyone who watches this show is a piece of shit, first of all. And then secondly, everyone who watches this show is so hypocritical. And I know that like that's just what humans are. But like, Bowie Jane has got to be probably one of the nicest, most positive, well-adjusted people to ever be on Big Brother. Like, her instant reaction, and I truly think this was genuine. I don't think this was her putting on airs. I think she was genuinely okay with it, genuinely happy for Jag and Matt. She had a little inside joke line about like, did joining the mafia help you on your way or whatever. People are trying to make that into a bigger thing than it was. I just think it was very stupid. I want to call out, okay, Maddie Ruppel in the live chat says, is Bowie Jane an anti-hero? How is Bowie Jane like Walter White? Like, Bowie Jane is like the most hero of all time. I think
She's
she's
turning
sweetie.
all of you into Walter White.
Yes,
You're all
exactly.
ready to like bomb a meth dispensary or something like that. She's just living her life.
She's a sweetie pie. I think she's fabulous. As I was watching her, I was like, wow, you know what? She really does look 35. I always felt this. I think it was rude as hell the way people were like, oh, she's got to be 45. No, she's actually looks great. Even Julie said she looks great.
She
Yes,
does
Scott?
look good. She does look good, but also it was amazing too, the way the reveal of that happened. It's like, Felicia, you have a reveal of your own, or it's like, or Bowie Jane, you have another reveal of your own, aside from your career, that Felicia would like to ask you about. Basically insinuating, which was true. I mean, like, Bowie can go on and watch the feeds now. Like, the last 10 weeks, anytime Felicia was not in the same room as Bowie Jane, she was like, that fucking bitch. She's 50 years old. She's as old as me. I got grandkids. So, she was just like talking shit about like what an old bag Bowie Jane was.
I love old bag. Old bag's my favorite. I know, like everyone. I don't know what it is about Bowie Jane. I am. Philip G says I'm doing product placement for LaCroix. It's true. And then I do want to call out Kevin M. Combs in the chat said, if the online fandom doesn't rally around one house guest, such as Devon, Tiffany, or Taylor, then the South's favorite will win. It's true. You got to watch out for the South. They come
Kevin
in.
M. Combs is like the guy on MSNBC with the khakis and the whiteboard and
yeah,
the
with
touchscreen.
What's that guy's name?
I forgot his name.
Yeah.
But anyways, Kevin M. Combs
really
is our electoral correspondent for Hey Julie.
Yeah. He's looking at the facts, the data poll as it rolls in the polls. Yeah, I just it really honestly bothered me.
In the Detroit suburbs right now, suburban moms believe Tiffany is the America's favorite.
The favorite. Yeah. It bothered me reading about and then seeing the next day or even today seeing tweets trying to make Bowie Jane's answer question to them about the mafia into a meme. It's not a meme. People are trying way too hard. No, it's not.
You can't decide what is there. You can't decide what is. There we go.
Steve Kornacki, that's his name.
I can't remember names anymore. I'm like,
that guy is so
cute. Know the Beatles, Paul, Steve, John, Elliot. I don't know. What the fuck was I talking about? God damn it.
You were talking about how I don't get to decide what
you don't get to decide what a meme is. A meme is an infectious disease. It's a virus of the mind. You can't control it.
It is a virus of the mind.
As it becomes true.
But
I agree with everything you said about Bowie Jane. She's also cringe.
No, she's
not.
How
do I know she's cringe? Because she's like 45 years old. Of course she's cringe. We're cringe. We're 10 years
when
younger
we were
than her.
together, when Brett and I were together at one point in person, Brett turned to me and said, "You're 40." And I've been mad about it since.
When you're proof.
I wasn't recording.
Yeah, you shouldn't.
That doesn't make
California
her cringe.
is a two-party consent state to recording.
That doesn't make her cringe. She's lovely. I'm just like, if this is our freaking donkey of the season that everyone's just gonna agree to dunk on, I don't want to live on this planet anymore. I don't want to be here anymore. She's so sweet.
I think she's a great I am so happy about Bowie Jane. Philip G in the chat. Bowie Jane was the plate cleansing Vegemite Matrix queen the BB universe didn't know it needed.
It's just,
I predicted this on Twitter. She's gonna wear she wore the Matrix costume.
Yeah.
Now, she's a bit self-aware. She's a bit unself-aware. Now, Danielle, I know for about everything. I know for a fact that you did not watch the Tuesday night episode.
No, I didn't.
I hardly did. I scrubbed through it. I watched any content that was new. Even though a lot of it was like flashbacks of like stuff, 3/4, 4/5 of it were flashbacks to like funny moments from the feeds that like they'd never aired, which is fine. I'm done with these people. But there was a new moment where the final 3 received videos from home, and Jag got a video from his sister and his future brother-in-law. Matt got a video from his mom, and Bowie Jane got a video from her parents. And I think this is the most informative things that was aired on this entire season, because it's like her parents, first of all, are like super old because she's 45. And they're just like these old, you can just tell from this video that they are incredibly wealthy. And
okay, well, yeah, I didn't watch the episode, but I watched the finale, and just that shot of them in the audience, I was like, oh, Bowie Jane's parents are rich.
Yeah, and they're just like very well dressed and put together, and they're just like whatever the Australian version is of like the upper crust New England, New York, kind of like wealthy waspy parents look like wedding crashers, they're kind of like this like upper crust like New England family estate or
Yeah.
something like that. And they're just like, Bowie, we've missed you terribly. However, we've just got back from being on vacation for 3 weeks and we're only catching up with the show now. It's like, you were on like in the Mediterranean for 3 weeks,
Yeah.
like just not even watching the show. It's like,
They were
this is where
yachting.
Bowie comes from. Bowie, I like, I mean, we're never gonna stop mentioning Bowie Jane on this show. She's like,
Is
super
that why
memorable.
people turned because she's rich?
I don't think Bowie's like, for better or worse, whatever. Like, I don't think Bowie's like a person who like has like heard no a lot in her life. Like, I think she probably comes from a lot of money. She owns a house in LA.
She's a barista specializing in tax fraud. She's gonna catch you. That's the one thing against her, I think, is she sounds like a narc.
And it's like, it's like, okay, she got into law school, she passed, and it's like, oh, you know what? I'm not interested in law school. I'm gonna be a DJ. I'm gonna sing. Like, there's all these videos of her, like these various musical projects. Not that like she can't have one, but like she clearly has enough money to like kind of like self-produce all these musical projects that she's like trying to get off the ground around her. There's one where it's like kind of like a folksy sort of thing. And she's like, well, you know, maybe the folksy thing doesn't work. Maybe I'm going to be a Matrix DJ. Like,
or pop star. Yeah.
So that was really illuminating. And that moment though, to go back to the mafia thing, I think she was so entertaining this year because she was not really fully aware of what was going on. And it was great to watch someone kind of just like slipping back assward, like very prominently through this game, literally to the final 3, possibly even to the final 2. If I was in the end, if I was Jag, I would have sent Matt's ass to the floor. Go sit out there with Felicia. I'm taking Bowie Jane to the end. Give me that 750K. It was funny to watch. It's funny. Well, I don't have any emotion or friends. I would, Danielle, if we were in the end, it was you, me, and Bowie Jane.
Yeah.
I would send your ass to jury.
No, you wouldn't.
Tear would go down. It would be an amazing moment. It would be an amazing moment because I would stand up there on live television. I would feel incredibly bad about it. I would cry. I would give an amazing, completely emotional. I would give an emotional speech, a emotionally resonant and present speech that CBS wishes they had moments like that on that show. As I would like cry and be like, Danielle, I value our friendship so much, but I have to do this because I have to win this game, and I cannot do that with you sitting next to me. And I know you'll understand that more than anyone else.
Because you
get out that door.
You think in a jury vote, people would vote for me over you?
Yeah. But it's not even about that.
Well,
even if I was like,
there's only one way to find out. Casa's on Big Brother.
But I just know that there would be more people who would vote for me over Bowie Jane. That's all. It's not even about you versus me. It's about who do I think I know, but the most jury votes against.
Maybe that's how you feel about me, Brett. But if you were cast on the show and you made a best friend on the show, a best bro, a bruh, who you went through thick and thin together, and you made that a net new, fresh best friend on the show.
No.
Who's your bruh? You would not send your bruh home.
I would absolutely.
No, you wouldn't.
I would absolutely. That's what makes me a shark.
Yeah. Philip.
Good to be on any of these shows.
Philip G in the chat has it right.
Ask me on the show. I would send my, like, literally, if I were Jared, I would kick my mother's ass. I would send my mother home at Final 3. I don't care. To win the point of being there is to win the game. And I know that's like the special sauce of this game and Survivor in a way where it's like there's the point of the game, which is to win the game. But the thing that you cannot measure is the human emotion part of it. And people have to make emotional and personal decisions on top of logical decisions, and how those things mix and bleed and create messy outcomes that we do not expect. That's what's great. That's why we watch the show and not why we just like hit a random simulation. And you're like, oh, we can just simulate the season 5 times or 100 times or whatever. I would be ruthless.
I don't think that you are being truthful. And I'd like to call out Philip G in the chat's question, which you conveniently tried to ignore, which is Brett trying to act ruthless. We know you're a ride or die for Dani. Also, I think there's a flaw in what you're saying.
Die.
I think if we're at final 3, you, me, and some other person in Big Brother, I don't think you would have it to cut me. I just don't think you would. I think
You don't
you
know
would.
me.
I think what you would do is you would throw it so that the other person would cut me. That would be your strategy because
I
you
don't
couldn't
throw
do it
comps.
yourself. You couldn't do it yourself. Now
I
ask
don't
me
throw
if I could do it
comps.
to you.
Danielle, if it's you, me,
and Bowie Jane.
Frankie Grande at the end.
Well, no. Make it someone else. Frankie Grande is
Okay,
not good.
let's we're doing this as if it were Bowie Jane, someone who like, here's the thing with Bowie Jane. We can keep using her as an example. They said this in the episode. If she won, I mean, she didn't win the final HOH, but if she won that, she would have had 4 HOHs, the most in the season. That's like kind of as we've mentioned in previous episodes, we've been talking about Bowie Jane for a half hour. She won a lot of competitions and she played a very particular way that people at home and people in the game didn't quite respect, but she like had her thesis of how she wanted to play the game. She wanted to play a super honest game with people who she really trusted. And once you burned her, she was out on you and she wouldn't recalibrate. That's how she did it. Anyways, if you got to the end with Bowie, it was you, me, and someone who kind of clearly would not win the game. What would you do? And you were the final HOH.
I think I would keep you. But the reason I would do that is because I think I would win against you. And if anyone in the chat thinks I'm wrong, feel free to weigh in. Okay. Feel free to weigh in.
It's unbelievable. No, it's unbelievable that everyone thinks I'm a total softie for Dani, but that Dani's a ruthless killer.
Well, no one said that. Only I'm saying that.
Oh, okay.
No one else has said that.
Well, G says that I'm a rider. I'm a Dani ride or die.
Yeah, you are.
I like you a lot. You're one of my best friends. But
see,
and as one of my best friends, I think you would understand why I cut your ass.
Do you think I would win America's Favorite?
I mean, is Cameron on the season? Is the Space Cowboy?
Yeah, shit.
What does Steve Bernanke say?
I would definitely lose to Cameron.
Let's check in with the Maricopa County, see what the votes are coming in.
Let's also check in with the very forced, like we called this last week when we were talking about it. The like Big Brother producers are desperate for Riley and Matt to get together. They are desperate. They are pushing a pro Riley and Matt agenda that I'm just still not convinced that the audience needed or wanted. But like a lot of time was dedicated to this. Not only did Riley have like a very long speech to Matt, and I felt like Matt was sort of like, okay, great. like save it. Because this was like before they voted, I think. They gave Riley a chance.
It was after the vote. Well, it was after they voted. They voted kind of
before
early.
They revealed.
Like, the vote, there's like 30 minutes, and then they're like, "We're just gonna chat some stuff out, and we'll reveal stuff later." So all that stuff happened after the vote, but before the reveal.
Oh yeah, exactly. So they're proud. So Matt's not thinking about getting with Riley. He's thinking about if he's winning or not. He's in his Olympic mindset. Did I win or not? Did I time out or not? But so Riley rambles on. And then later in the episode, Julie's like, maybe you may have lost, Matt, but maybe you got a girlfriend. It's like, why are we pushing this?
Yeah, that was weird too. It's like, how are we like, you guys haven't done anything. Like, you guys have not seen each other for 10 weeks. Like, she sent you a letter that like the BB producers wrote and they're like, sign this. Like, how are we official? How are we putting labels on this now? Why are you letting Julie put labels on this? I date people for 4 months and it's like, let's not move things too fast. Let's keep our options open here. I'm only in my mid to late 30s here. Let's not put any labels on anything.
Let's check in with Philip G. Is Brett applying for next season? I'm sensing an audition reel coming on.
I am not applying for Big Brother. However, if they want to reach out to me, I'll have a discussion. The answer is probably going to be no.
Yeah. It's a long time.
Maybe I'm in Reindeer Games.
Who do you think it's going to be? Do you think it's going to be Cameron?
Yeah, Cameron seems available.
Because I'm telling you right now, Cirie and Felicia, like the camera was on them as they announced that it was going to be one of them. Just by their facial expressions, they were like, not it. Like neither of them wanted to do it. You could tell. They were like,
Who?
I want to go home. Felicia and Cirie.
Oh no, they're done.
They're done.
They're adults. They're like adults. I mean, like I know,
You want to
like
see their grandchildren.
they have kids, they have grandchildren, they have like jobs and stuff. Felicia's
Yeah.
got to go sell somehow. She got to go push some square footage.
I mean, I have to say, seeing her in her real estate like blazer pantsuit with those fabulous
Oh,
glasses, I was
with
like,
the
I will
master
buy
disguise
whatever.
glasses. Yeah,
Yes, I will buy
turtle,
whatever she's
turtle.
selling. She looked amazing. Cirie looked amazing too. America's dress, I think she looked beautiful. I think there was a rip in it. I don't know if that was on
I
purpose.
oh,
There was a
I wasn't
very
even
high
clocking.
rip.
Mm, mm.
Blue was wearing gloves. It's like she does. This is just a quick
Blue
fashion
and
check
Bowie
from
Jane are
Dani.
like super cringe, and like everyone who is like everyone who thinks that like Bowie Jane is cringe and all that stuff, but doesn't think that same way about Blue. I apologize, like the loudest
That's
mouth in the
ageism.
world is
That's
ready to speak.
ageism.
No, that's ageist, yeah, for sure. It's nationalist. You hate Australians.
Yeah. Yeah, who is it gonna be? I don't know. Are we gonna watch reindeer games and record about it, Brett? It sounds like
So
it's gonna lack every single part of Big Brother that we actually enjoy and only have the parts we don't like.
basically, I know it's. I mean, what it seems. By the way, we have not spoken about Jag once this episode. Just fantastic.
What's there to say? I mean, I did like his final speech, actually. I thought his final speech was fabulous.
Yeah, I guess we'll come back to Jag. We'll talk about reindeer games. Um, by all accounts, there was some release, or maybe it was not a release, but it was like a rumor or something like that I retweeted from the Hey Julie account. Like it's like 3 comps an episode, and then like they kind of like it's oops all comps. It's just the comps. I can't imagine hearing 3 times an episode, 5 times an episode for 10 weeks or 3 weeks or whatever. So I walk into the backyard and it's a winter wonderland. All of them are going to be winter wonderland themed.
Yeah.
It's Christmas themed. Like, how many times are they going to like explain? Wow, so Santa wants me to put the candy canes inside of the candy hole, and like, shut up. The competitions are so unbelievably bad. They are the worst part of the show, and they're going to make it the entirety of the news show. And it's funny because I hate like the former house guests on social media. I don't follow any of them. The only one I do follow is Andy Herron because he's like actually funny and talks like a
I
real
like him a lot too,
being.
but he was a lot of the like Bowie Jane hateration that I saw.
He
so
was.
That kind of soured me a little
Yeah,
bit.
he's not right. He's far from being right about everything.
No,
but like
yeah.
but he picks his corners and he commits to the bit, which I appreciate as a fellow performer. But he tweeted that like he and like many of his contacts have not been like contacted about
his buds
BB reindeer games or whatever, which would lead him to believe that it might be more like a celebrity focused thing. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if it's like a mix of like a few BB legends and like Jerry O'Connell and like
Sherry Shepherd.
Yeah, like a mix of like reality stars and a mix of maybe a few BB legends and like, you know, who like is there like a show on CBS?
Yeah.
Is there a show on CBS coming up?
Wait. Speaking before we fully come off of Bowie Jane, did you get like after the show ended, it was like, yeah, say next season watch Big Brother Reindeer Games, but also NCIS Sydney?
I've been talking about NCIS. I've been mentioning NCIS Sydney for like 5 weeks straight. I know you don't watch the episodes. So I have. I've name dropped NCIS Sydney a half dozen times.
I thought you were making it up.
It was real. I watched the commercials. I'm about to watch fucking 7 hours straight of football on CBS.
I thought you were just making a funny.
Fucking ads for NCIS Sydney.
I thought you were making a Brett funny.
No, it was a real thing. It's okay. This reminds me of my favorite show, RIP, East New York. Whenever they have a new show that takes place in any location, in the promo for the first episode, they need to have, well, I guess it would be in the pilot as well. They need to have a person saying, "Welcome to this location,"
Yeah.
because as we all remember from the pilot of East New York, Jimmy Smith goes, "Welcome to East New York," and
It's like welcome to the OC, bitch.
yeah, in the promo for NCIS Sydney, someone's like, "Welcome to Australia," and it's like, we know it says Sydney like in there, like every scene of the show is in front of the Opera House for some reason. Like, I don't know.
Some people might not
It
know.
looks like the most formulaic bullshit ever made.
I think they
That's
should
why
get
I won't
Bowie
be on
Jane a
CBS.
cameo.
That's why I won't be on CBS, because when I win the HOH comp, that's like you and 3 of your house guests get to have a movie night, and you get to watch the premiere of NCIS Dublin, and I'm gonna be like, I'm good.
No, thank you.
I'm good. So, Brett, can you come in DR and do a little like read about like how much you enjoyed watching NCIS Dublin? No. Or like, yeah, I'll go
Yeah,
in, but I was
right.
gonna say
You
it's
would
like
do it.
formulaic bullshit. Like, it's just procedural crap. Like, watch anything. Just like watch your phone instead of watching it. Like,
That's not
go
true.
on Amazon Prime, go on Freevee TV and watch Mad Men with ads. If you want to watch something, go on HBO Max and watch The Sopranos.
Brett, you would fold like a napkin. You would be Mr. the company man. They'd say, get
I'd
Brett
be
in
like
here. He'll
Cirie,
deliver these lines with
I'd stand
pizzazz.
up, I hit my mark, I'd be like,
Yeah.
Exorcist believer? Why, there's 2 girls in that. That means there's double the scares.
Exactly. Wait, we sort of passed it, but like when we were talking about Big Brother Reindeer Games and how there's going to be so many competitions and how they're all going to say the same thing, which we hate that they say every episode anyway. Did you not think it was a little bit cute in the season finale of Big Brother when Jag and Matt did rock, paper, scissors, and Jag was like, so my strategy for rock, paper, didn't you think that was a little cute?
That was funny. That
Yeah.
was funny, but it's like the fact that they did that and Matt and Jag was like, "Oh, everybody knows the rule." Like, that was so canned. In a way, it was
Yeah.
smart, but in a way, it was like emblematic of the problem.
Well, it was them nodding to say that was honestly directed at us, you and me. They said
There
we
was
know.
another moment like that because in the like zip line part 2, where they had to put the names of the competitions in the right order, Bowie goes, "So my strategy for this is to put the names of the competitions in the right universe and then put them in the right order." It's like, that's not the strategy. That's the goal of the competition. That's what you need to do to win it. That's like, so my strategy with running the race, the 100 meters, is to run faster than the other people and get a time lower than the other 10 people running the 100-meter race. Whatever.
Well, Philip G in the chat says Brett would literally be recording the audio version of God First if BB asked. Father, Son, and Holy Gucci. I agree.
I don't know. Get Michelle Williams. She's out there doing audiobooks.
Ugh, yeah, that's what I hear. And I apparently have access because I have Spotify Premium. What else about the finale? Oh yeah, let's talk about Jag a little bit.
Okay.
I thought Jag's speech was so good. I thought it was so good, and I think they all. Yes.
Yeah. No, keep going. So I'm like showing excitement, an exclamation.
I thought they all like really appreciated it because we compared Jag to Paul a little bit, just in terms of like they both weren't at first good at the game, then they like learned their way, and then it wasn't just the competition wins for Jag. He was strategically like the one sort of making the decisions and doing the kills, getting the kill shots, and he wasn't shy about like admitting it, and that's where he was different from Paul. Paul was always very like, oh, sorry to see you go. Like, he never took full credit / took full I don't even know what the other word is, but like Jag did.
Accountability.
Jag said, accountability. Jag's like, I'm bathing in all of your blood. It was great. It was a fun last speech.
Oh, I'm like, my blood is your blood. All of your blood is on my hands. My hands are covered in your blood. I mean, Matt, I watched that, and I remember I said, this is a hashtag Brett was the wrong moment. I said on our non-BB finale pod 3 nights ago. I said, I think Matt's going to win. I think this jury is a little bit like anti Jag Felicia. And maybe I was just skewed by how vocal Felicia was in her jury segments. That she kept saying Jag made a $750K mistake. We can talk about the Felicia and Cirie votes separately. I just believe that to maybe be more of the broader sentiment, that like Matt was just such a nice guy and everyone just really liked Matt and they just wanted to give him the money. And maybe they were going to hold the fact that Jag was voted out against him. So I was wrong. But so when Jag kept Matt, I was like, wow, he did. He made the Cody mistake. He kept someone that he shouldn't have kept, and he's going to get second place. And then the speeches and questions came around, and I was like, oh no, poor Matt. I imagine Matt is like a recruit, just because like when it got around to that thing, he was stunned and he did not really know what to say, and he really had like nothing to defend at all. Yeah. And it's like, Matt, was your biggest move of the game? My biggest move of the game was saving Jag. It's like, well, he's sitting right there.
Yeah.
So don't talk about how good he was and all you did to keep him safe. Like, talk about yourself. And he just, he didn't really have anything to say about anything that he did because objectively he didn't. Jag was orchestrating him the entire time to get out Cirie, to get out every single person. Basically, Matt was kind of on board for it. And the fact that Matt just kind of would talk and he kind of would ramble, couldn't really defend anything. And then he would kind of just lose steam and just be like, and I think so. Yeah. It was like kind of how he ended every question or like every speech. It's like
he wasn't
decisive. And Jag was decisive. Jag had thought about every single move and even if he was over exaggerating, how he played a hand in that move. And it was concise. And I was like, Matt just got the floor wiped with himself. Or Jag
it's sort of like
mopped the floor with him.
Yeah, but what can people expect from Matt? Like, Matt would have to do a complete personality like surgery to be able to answer those questions and have a speech that was not even conniving, I don't think is the right word, but more like that's just not his person. He's a surfer bro or swimming bro. Like, that's just who he is. He was never going to be able to answer those questions. Like, suddenly he takes the mask off and, this whole time I've been a mastermind villain who can perfectly articulately explain my entire game. That was never going to be him. So, yeah.
I agree that would have been even more surprising. That would have been nuts. Like, maybe I would have voted for him.
I know. I mean, yeah.
But I think he just needed to make like what did you do? He didn't really defend anything he did other than like he won one secret competition to keep Jag in the game, and he won a couple HOHs late in the game, and he won the 2 double eviction vetoes. He didn't really do much. I think he just needed to lean more into not that this would have won, but he needed to lean more into his own argument, which is like, I'm not Jag. I didn't do the maneuvering that Jag did. But I mean, I think Matt was on the right track of being like, I was the social player. I was the person who all of you felt super comfortable with, even though I was with Jag the entire time plotting your demise. I was lying. He just needed to lean more into the fact of like how he might, lean into like, I'm this golden boy. I'm a magnetic personality. All of you felt so comfortable with me that you didn't know that I was euthanizing you at the moment. I was sticking you with the needle and you couldn't even feel it. Like,
yeah,
I think Matt was kind of on the right track, but he didn't fully embrace that. And half of his arguments were just stuff supporting what Jag did. And was just like, more compelling that, okay, well, it sounds like Jag did that. So I think there probably could have, if anyone could make an argument, he should have hired the tax fraud lawyer.
Yeah, exactly. I wonder what her speech should have been like. We got a question from Maddie Ruffle in the chat. Legitimate question. Where does Jag rank among winners for each of you guys? I mean, the final speech really did win me over. It really brought him up a few notches in my estimation. I do think ultimately this is a kind of forgettable season, especially compared to last season. I just like last season was maybe a top 5 for me in terms of enjoyment watching and like great winner, historic, like Taylor won the game and also won America's Favorite Player. It had great characters. Like this one started so strong and had some great characters, but like I don't know, it just petered out towards the end. It wasn't as compelling towards the end.
I
So,
don't
and
think
I
he's like,
put that
yeah,
to the winner.
I don't think he's like super high, but I don't think he's super low. I think he's like in the middle.
It's middle, yeah, very
I don't
middle. It
know.
wasn't a
There's
worst.
25 winners. I can't like remember. I don't know. Like I don't know. I think he's better than Cody. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. More
like,
interesting than Cody for sure.
it's like, and you have a bunch, and you have some weirdo winners too. It's like Josh Martinez was like such an interesting win, and like you wouldn't call that like a kind of like Jag was kind of like a puppet master light,
Mhm.
like he did a lot of that stuff, but also he was very dominant in physical competitions. And then you have other people who play more social games. You have people who play like these really emotional games, and they're like their strong emotions is what moves other players to do their bidding or fear nominating them. Um, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I mean, even Taylor last year was a really interesting scenario where she was the target the first half of the season. People were constantly going after her. And this group of people saw this and said, we should bring her into our group, and we should have an alliance with her, and we need to protect her because she's being so unfairly treated by the other house guests. And it was almost like they maybe felt bad for her at the start, and they were doing the right thing of standing up for her. But then they kept her around, and she won some competitions, and she won an HOH here or there and doing stuff. And all of a sudden it's the end of the game. And it's like this person who kind of almost had a very low status at the beginning. I mean, same way to Jag. Jag was a target a lot in the early third of this game. All of a sudden it's
Yeah.
like she's there at the end. And again, we talked about like I kind of can't even name the other people who were in the final 3 last year with Taylor.
Monty and Brittany.
Yeah. Like all of a sudden she's there at the end. It's like she's a freight train. You can't stop her now. So I don't know. It's hard to say especially because like all the play styles of the different winners are so different.
Yeah. But yeah, I would agree that it's like a very middle, like I'm not mad about it. I'm not.
No,
That was the
I
thing.
think
This is the thing.
completely deserving.
Yeah, the entire last few weeks, my thing has just been like, sure. Like I'm not mad about it. I'm not like this sucks. I'm just like, yeah, sounds good. Whatever. And I agree with you. Overall, I thought it was a good finale. I liked seeing the people. I really liked Nicole's dress. I thought or it was like a pantsuit. I thought she looked great. I thought it was well done.
Of the final 3, I think he's very much the most deserving of that final 3. And it's like, well,
Yeah.
if Cameron got to the end, or if Corey got to the end, if Cirie or I think Cirie or Felicia would have been amazing winners as well. I mean, man, if Felicia got to final 3, I think I think she actually had a really strong case despite the lack of competition wins, like because she has that full underdog thing of like I was on the block every week and I like survived. It's like the
Oh my
survivor
gosh.
case,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I think we would have had a number of, I think if like 5 or 6 different people won this season, you'd be like, that's pretty good. And same reaction to the one we're having to Jag. If Matt won, we'd be
Yeah.
like, all right, I don't know, up against Jag, I don't know. But like if Corey won, if Cameron won, if Felicia won, if Cirie won, Izzy won, it'd be like, all right,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah. I would have loved it.
That gets me to how did you feel about the fact that Cirie and Felicia were the only 2 dissenting votes?
I was gonna ask you the same question. Because I was like, are they bitter? Or do they just both really love Matt? It was so hard to say. I think that, and they both sort of named it to being like they were loyal to a fault. They promised that this was
Not
what they
to
were gonna
Bowie
do.
Jane.
Not to buy my
Not to
bitches.
Red.
So it was hard for me to. I think they did it with the knowledge that Jag was going to win anyway. So it was like just a matter of like keeping their word, but like showing their loyalty as well. So it was like it didn't bother me. I think it was just them, yeah, wanting to keep their promise with the knowledge that it wasn't really going to do anything.
Really? But that's half the votes you need to win. You only needed 4 with a 7-person jury.
I think the jury tells each other.
You and I were talking on Thursday night before we watched the finale because we didn't watch it Thursday. We were like kind of doing some like jury math in our heads together when we were like, okay, well, we think like you and I were like, okay, if it's Matt and Jag final 2, you and I were both like, yeah, I think Cameron would definitely vote for Jag. I think Corey would vote for Jag. We're just thinking about like the most kind of game-minded and objective players in the game would just on their face, just looking at the 2 resumes and like what happened, would vote for Jag. And you and I said, oh yeah, well, Corey, Cameron, and Cirie would definitely vote for Jag in that situation because these are kind of like the most seasoned and analytical and objective like reality show minds versus like as great as America is, like I don't know, she's a bit of a wild card sometimes. Like so I was really surprised when Cirie, of all people, who has been on Survivor 4 times or something like that, she won the House of Villains or the Traitors, the Scallywags,
Scampers, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know, I'm not disappointed, whatever, I don't care. I'm not like losing sleep over it, but I don't know.
You felt it was bitter.
I felt it was bitter. Granted, she had a really, really close connection to Matt. And maybe Sir, and to a lesser extent, Felicia as well. Cirie was really close to Matt, and maybe she wanted to throw her vote that way, but it was just weird when it was like it was quite obvious who deserved to win, especially after the speeches, the performance in the competitions, the performance in the questions and final speech. Like what show were you watching? What show were you watching? So like whatever, like they have their reasons for it. So I was like slightly disappointed. I was kind of just surprised. I kind of like expected Cirie, who's like brought in as this like reality show expert, basically to like cast a vote for who deserves to win and not just like who is her best friend. Like you can have best, like you and me, we can have best friends forever, but I would cut your ass.
You think so? You think so? But you and all the listeners know that that's not true.
I was total soft. Yeah.
Wait, do we have any questions or comments that we need to read out to get to?
Let me go into Discord.
Oh, someone asked, Matt Steele asked if I would try out for Big Brother Canada, and my answer was like, no, I would never, because I already have a grill. I would never, listen, you guys have to understand, 750 USD is like almost $1 million Canadian. So yes, I would do American Big Brother. Canadian Big Brother, how much is it? 100K?
It's like 50 or 100K.
Which I don't know the taxes. I forget. 50 or 100, that's a big difference. And it's still
but they're still too low.
Yeah, it's too low. It's too low. I just would not give up my life to do that. And that's just how, like, no.
It's a
bunch of grills.
It's 100K.
Still wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Triple it, then talk to me. You know, like you still can't afford a down payment on a house if you win that in Toronto. No. So no, thank you. But I would do US for sure.
I mean, yeah. I mean, no. I mean, I don't want to like upend my life. Like, I feel like I'm an okay person. Sometimes. I mean, that's what therapy is for. I'm working on it.
I think you're an okay person.
I'm afraid of like, I just don't want to be like, I just don't want to like be canceled because like I like said one thing on the freaking like just the way that all of these people. Jag is objectively a great person. He's a great guy. He like
Bowie Jane too. That's what I'm saying about Bowie Jane.
Fights for he wants to represent his community in the best possible way. He wants to put a positive light on his religion and his community. Like literally all this guy wants to do is like be a good guy. and like be friends with people and shatter expectations about how he appears and how he and his religion and his family appear in the eyes of, let's face it, a mostly white and Christian nation, right? So like, what a great guy. What an amazing story. And even half the fucking Big Brother fans like, oh fuck Jag, he sucks. We needed America to win this season or whatever. Like, people are hating on him. So, and I'm not nearly as likable as Jag, frankly. So like, I don't know. I'd almost rather be on Survivor, where I would actually be hospitalized. Like, I would be Brandon or whatever. Like, I literally would faint. I would absolutely faint on Survivor within like 2 days. I can't go 3 hours without having a pretzel. So, I don't know. I wouldn't do it, and I would certainly not apply.
Okay.
I need to be cast, but I don't think they're casting like BB podcasters on the show, because like, every fucking BB podcaster wants to be on the show, and none of them have ever been. Like, that's not the kind of super fan that they want on the show. They want like a super fan with a real job.
Yeah, exactly. If you Jump for Joy in the Discord said, if you are locked in a room and have to pick, would you watch Buddy Games or Reindeer Games? So are we watching Reindeer Games and talking about it? Or should we talk about that after the podcast?
That's a decision we can make. That's a decision we can make as adults afterwards.
We got a comment on Twitter from Skepany, good hair person. Big Brother 25 has finally ended. My long, long nightmare is over at last. It's a Hey Julie BB miracle. And then Chelsea Quinn wants to know, how much do you think they're paying Frankie Ronde to do these sketches? Yeah, they had to end with another sketch. Do you remember that's how the season began?
I had
forgotten.
It was a brutal reminder. I don't know, like 20K.
Yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad.
Yeah, for like 2
less
days
than
work.
a day.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's less than a day, I think, probably.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they shot both of them back to back, or if they like shot one of them. Yeah, they must have. But did they know in August they were doing Reindeer Games, or did while they were doing the like hours long like BBHOH thing, did they put them in lockdown or whatever and just quickly shoot the other thing inside of the house?
Good call. I don't know actually.
I'm a producer. That's how I think about things.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Are we gonna watch? I don't know. Like, if it's just gonna, I think we'll probably give an episode or two a try. But if it's like,
we can't commit to
incredibly dumb. If it's incredibly dumb and just competitions, I don't know what we're gonna talk about. Like,
and there's other things to
talk about
watch.
is the human interaction and the like social maneuvering and like social chess of the show, not about like who like knocked down the most like presents off the tree. Like, who fucking cares?
Yeah. There's other things to watch. The Curse just premiered, and I watched the first episode.
I'm watching that.
Gilded Age is on with my Zaddy. Unfortunately, morning show is ending, but there's more. There's stuff to watch. So we're gonna have to figure it out. We'll see. Any final thoughts about? I'm pulling my Julie Chen. Any final thoughts about this season, Brett?
It was fine. It was fine. I think we got a lot of great. I think we got a lot of great characters this season, and there are many years where we don't. I think
that's so true.
I think we got a lot of really good characters this season. I mean, happy trails to the Queen, Felicia. Like, can we just also say again, like, Felicia was incredible casting. She was amazing, and I think she was being honest when she said a couple episodes ago, "I'm not coming back. I got stuff to do." Like, she was amazing. There's like a reason to cast more olds on this show. She was fucking incredible, and within a mustard seed of getting to the final three, and if you got to the final three, who knows? Like, Cirie was wonderful. Like, there were a bunch of people who were like great. This, like, not to mention like Izzy and Heisem were like incredible, and they were barely on the damn show.
I just missed his laugh.
I don't think it's at the end we've seen of Heisem. Izzy's out
I think
there.
Izzy's love him.
Izzy's playing in the
American Philharmonic. Yeah.
She's on Radio City.
Yeah, the Rockettes season just started, so she's there.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm really glad about the people we got, especially like we kind of got like a older cast with like just some genuine weirdos and
Yeah,
beautiful souls in there rather than
interesting
like
people.
10 hot people. Like if it was all Matts and Rileys, like
Yeah,
where we do get seasons where it's like a bunch of like hot blonde people, that
yeah,
sucks. So
yeah. It's
I'm
boring.
glad we didn't get that. I think out of the way the seasons shook out, Jag is a very deserving winner. Um, and fucking Bowie Jane.
That's a perfect fucking Bowie Jane. I love her.
Do not call me a Bowie Jane denier. I'm a fucking Bowie Jane truther.
Yeah,
We are like the last BB pod to defend Bowie Jane. Not saying
and I'll
she's
die
perfect.
on.
Not saying she
Yeah,
was like even great at Big Brother, but
she seems like a nice lady.
she is a lady, ma'am. She is a ma'am for
I'm
sure.
a man.
Like you're 40, as
Yeah,
I apparently
shut
told you
up.
multiple
I'm gonna
times.
kill you. Thank you all so much for listening, for spending the season with us. We had a great time. Um, we will still pod about something at some point. We're
Survivor is
just gonna have
still
to.
on. We have not
Oh
mentioned
yeah,
those.
Survivor.
That's we have not been giving Survivor enough love the last couple weeks, but I'm sure next week we'll like really dive in on Survivor. It's movie
Yeah,
season. It's Oscar season. I went to the movies. Some
yeah.
guys got mad at me for shushing them. It's like, well, how about don't talk, bro? Like
Wow.
I'm a shusher. I'm a shusher.
See, they gotta cast Brett because they'll
They
get
got it.
someone
They got it.
confrontational.
I'm in the
Well,
theater.
thank you
I'm
all.
in the theater and like someone hands me my key, like, you got my Big Brother. I'm like, shush, you're in a movie theater. You can go literally anywhere else in the world right now and talk and be on your phone. Why are you here? Why did you pay $17 to be here? Oh, I got on Big Brother, my key. Yay.
If you
Sorry.
feel like you still have thoughts to share with us and questions, you can always reach out. Hey, Julie BB on Twitter. You can email us. Hey, Julie, bigbrother@gmail.com. And you can join our Discord, which I don't know what we're going to talk about now, but I have faith and we have such good
The
emojis. So I have
Discord is
faith.
great. People ask
It
all sorts of
is. It's so
stupid
fun.
questions. It's great. It's the best place to be if you're a Hey Julie stan.
Yeah, we can talk about other things. It doesn't have to be Big Brother and Survivor. Thank you all so much for listening. We'll see you next time.
Dani, thank you for a great BB25. It was
Thank
great
you,
podding with
Brett.
you twice this
Yeah.
week, seeing you in person.
I know. I know.
And just remember, I would vote you out.
I'm going to let you think that. Goodbye, Julie.
All right. Bye, Julie.